I killed Bruce Lee. You're about to hear that
On July 20th, 1973, the actor and martial arts expert Bruce Lee dies in Hong Kong at age 32 from a brain edema possibly caused by a reaction to a prescription painkiller.
shocking deathbed confession from a martial arts master assassin. You'll see how he made the Kung Fu legend's brain explode inside his head by using a near mythical Chinese death touch. And inside this brief but highly controversial video, you'll learn the same forbidden technique yourself, along with 10 more highly lethal one-touch death moves.
Oh, I can't freaking wait. You know what blows my freaking mind? You know what blows my mind? With the explosion of the UFC, with MMA in general, there's still so many freaking McDojos out there teaching absolute nonsense, and there's still people who actually go to these folks, pay them money, actual money, to try to learn their bullshit. It boggles the mind completely. Now, the video I was just checking out right here is apparently a master assassin who killed Bruce Lee, and if you pay $50, you too can learn how he did it, his mystical death touch. And you know what, folks? We're going to learn how to do this. We're going to learn today how to also use ancient powers to kill martial arts legends.
Now, beware. These techniques will disable, cripple, and even kill any attacker threatening the safety of you or your loved ones. Plus, it's guaranteed to work no matter how old you are, what your physical condition is, or even if the assailant is heavily armed. Everyone needs these death moves in their arsenal, and I do mean everyone.
So if I am 110 years old, dementia, Alzheimer's, if I am crippled, if I'm a vegetable laying on the bed, as long as I learn these moves, I'm gonna become an instant lethal weapon. I mean, we're talking the Phoenix, we're talking Apocalypse from X-Men. I mean, we're talking Dr. Manhattan levels of insane superhuman power. I mean, I physically can't wait.
Even an old Marine like me. I spent 20 years in the service and saw combat more than I care to remember. But even I was completely unprepared when two men pulled a gun on my grandchildren and me. I mean, we were in the parking lot of a toy store, for God's sake. The bigger guy put a 9mm to my head. He told me he wouldn't think twice about splattering brains all over the concrete if I didn't do what he said. And I hate to admit it, but I never felt more powerless or scared. I gave them everything they asked for. My wallet, cell phone, car keys, and those even took them.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. That is you did exactly what you're supposed to do, my guy.
Impossible to deny his gruesome, tragic story. Plus, he taught me 10 other instant kill techniques, all of which work to take down any attacker, trust me. Anyone can master these in a matter of days, even if you could barely walk without a cane.
Hey man, I know a few techniques. Instant kill. You do it one time and the person dies. Dead, gone. And guess what? You can learn it in just a few days. I mean, it's like, it blows the mind. Nothing that is worth doing can be learned in just a few days. You understand? Nothing that difficult. Like, you want to learn the martial arts, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether you want to learn how to box, or you want to learn how to wrestle, or do Muay Thai. It doesn't matter what martial arts you're trying to learn. You cannot learn it in just a few days. A lot of these martial arts require years upon years upon years of training to even know what the hell you're doing. But when they tell you, bro, you can learn this in just a few days, that's the first clue. That's the first clue that you're dealing with something that is complete bullshit.
You're 90 years old and you weigh 100 pounds dripping wet. Inside this short presentation, I'll tell you exactly who assassinated Bruce Lee. And I'll share all of the evidence pointing to the fact that he really did kill the most famous Kung Fu legend of all time. I'm also going to show you how the 11 death touch techniques work, so you can start using them in the next 30 minutes to keep your family protected forever. Now let's cut right to it. My name is Robert Lawrence. I'm 59 years old, and I live about 45 minutes outside of Detroit.
All right, so we know his name, Robert Lawrence, lives in Detroit, and he's going to teach us 11 death touch techniques that we're going to be able to use to protect our families forever. So this video right here is actually over 40 minutes long. Don't worry, I am not going to watch the whole entire 40 minutes long video. That is absolutely not what we're doing right here. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to check this out because I'm curious, man. Like, I mean, if someone tells me that they can show me something that's going to protect, I love my family. I love my family. So let's check it out. Right here it says $49 buy now. Best $50 ever spent. Congratulations on your decision to invest in the Secret Death Touches program. Please review the following information carefully. These 24 death moves are so extreme, I simply could not risk telling you about them earlier. Ooh, we are about to land some crazy shit. You are about to become unspeakably powerful. Oh, I can feel the power already. So right here, it gives you an option. You can either do the ebook or you can do the video. Now, seeing as we love videos on this channel, let's watch the video. The video starts off with Brad Potts. I'm kind of curious who Brad Potts is. Film actor. He's an actor. We are about to learn the death moves from an actor. All right, let's see. What movies has he done? Butt Boy. Bro, what? Butt Boy, Circus of the Dead. Girl Lost. Ultraman Saga. We got an actor that's about to teach us these moves. I can't freaking wait.
Hi, I'm Brad Potts. Today we're going to be working on some self-defense moves. Now, I myself am 60 years old, and I know that a lot of other senior citizens out there are concerned for their well-being when they're walking down the street. So we're going to address those issues today. Okay, so the first technique we're going to be addressing today is the one-touch disabling technique. This is a very old, sophisticated punch. Well, the first thing we're going to do is make a fist with a projected index finger like so. Then we're going to use this punch into the sensitive areas of your would-be attacker. For example, the eyes, the sternum, the solar plexus. What this does to your opponent is to effectively disabling them by obscuring their vision, knocking their breath out.
So yeah, if someone is about to attack your family in the middle of the night, or they ambush you and your family, they're gonna stand completely still like this right in front of you with their eyes wide open while you make a fist and jab your little knuckle into their eye while they stand completely still and watch you do it. Not just the eye, but you could also jab it into their solar plexus. And you do it just one and they're dead. Makes perfect sense, bro.
Or hitting nerve points in the solar plexus. Extremely painful. The second technique is the jaw attack, where the hand is thrust into the throat of your attacker and then squeezed tightly. This is used from a frontal assault. This works by thrusting your palm into the throat of your attacker and clutching his windpipe and crushing it with all your might. This is a good technique to use when you're being assaulted from the front by a would-be attacker. This could quite possibly knock your opponent out, if not completely.
So if you have an opponent in front of you and they're about to throw a right hook on you, block the right hook, jab the hand into their throat, and then squeeze. And while you're squeezing, they're going to stay completely still, letting you squeeze the life out of them on your throat. Also makes perfect sense. So far, we're learning so much.
Disabling them. It affects their breathing, it affects their swallowing, and it's extremely painful. The next technique we're going to be discussing is the shin attack. This, again, is if you're being attacked from the front. Now what we basically do here is to place in a snap kick the ball of our foot under the patella of the would-be attacker. This technique is very effective in disabling your opponent, either breaking their shin, spraining their knee, dislocating their...
Holy shit. Is this where Dustin Poirier learned what he did to Conor McGregor? Has Dustin Poirier been listening to Brad Potts? Has he been learning the secret death touches? Is this where Dustin Poirier came to get his incredible techniques that he used to disable Conor McGregor in their fight? This is incredible. There's so much information here. I feel invincible already.
Patella or a variety of other bipedal injuries. This is specifically more effective against larger, stronger opponents, because if you can't walk, how can you attack me? The next technique we're going to be discussing is extreme pain. This is done with a one-punch disabling technique.
Dude, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard. He says the kick, which is essentially, he's telling you to perform a front leg side kick done incorrectly to the shin of your opponent, which, by the way, that's not where you should be aiming a front leg side kick. A front leg side kick targets above the knee, so you can actually hyperextend the knee. You're not targeting the shin, because you're not gonna break your opponent's shin by hitting them with your foot. Most likely you're gonna break your own shin by doing that. You're gonna break your own foot by doing that. Like, the idea that you're going to hurt your opponent's shin by jabbing the ball of your foot into their shin is completely absurd. Now, not only is it absurd, but he says this is actually way more effective against a bigger, stronger opponent. So if you're 120 pounds and you're being attacked by Francis Ngannou, one of the most effective tactics that you can use is to hit Ngannou in his shin with a front leg side kick done incorrectly. Bravo. Bravo. Great idea, bro.
The next technique we're going to be discussing is the good old heel to the pelvis. Now this move, believe it or not, is especially painful for men. Now, if you're being frontally attacked, particularly ladies, it's a good thing to strike with the heel. And this is done in a snapping up motion, sending the testicles far into the intestinal tract, causing excruciating pain. The next technique we're going to be discussing is broken ribs. This is an extremely effective technique if someone grabs you from behind. This is extremely effective in that it can separate ribs, create tears in the intercostal, and possibly cause internal hemorrhaging, maybe even pneumothorax. The next technique we're going to be discussing is the Adam's apple crush. This is achieved by forming a regular fist and...
So we are about 3 minutes into this 13-minute long video right now, and what I'm getting so far is that for all of this to work, your opponent essentially needs to be a boxing dummy. You know those Bob dummies that you can purchase, and you can use the dummy to practice a bunch of boxing combinations? You essentially, your opponent, your attacker literally needs to be one of those. Because he's now showing you how to attack your opponent's Adam's apple. If an opponent is trying to attack you and victimize you and your family, the first thing they do is they lift up their chin just like this, exposing their Adam's apple, and they stand completely square directly in front of you, completely motionless and stationary, to give you the perfect target to strike the Adam's apple. I mean, that's great work, man. Great work.
Striking vigorously into the Adam's apple of your opponent. As a result, your opponent will experience a ruptured Adam's apple and probably need medical attention. It's quick and it doesn't require much force. The next technique we're going to be discussing is the hand to the kidneys. This is simply a strike into the kidney region of your opponent's back. This is an effective technique if, for whatever reason, your opponent exposes his back to you. Doesn't mean the fight's over, but you might as well disable him once and for all. This can cause renal shutdown, renal bleeding, renal hemorrhaging, and a variety of other renal dysfunctions. The next technique is the eye blinding technique. Now this may seem like something you'd see on the Three Stooges, but it's not. It's a proven technique to disable your attacker. It's a simple move. Simply thrust your finger into your opponent's eye. This is extremely effective because if your opponent, even if your opponent...
Dude, I can't believe I spent $50 on... I can't believe I spent $50 on this. Am I gonna be able to write this off? Okay, I think I've heard enough. I think I've heard enough. Like I said, every single technique that's been shown right here, it essentially assumes that your opponent is standing completely square in front of you. The stance is not bladed. They're not in a fight stance whatsoever. They're completely in front of you. And every single attack that's going to come at you is going to come from the front. He says if you're going to attack your opponent's knee, don't try to attack the leg that's closest to you like a real fight. Try to attack the opposite leg. So if I'm in conventional stance, if I'm in orthodox, and my opponent is in orthodox with his left leg closest to me, rather than trying to attack his left leg that's closest to me, I need to try to attack his right leg, which is farther away. Which to me is just... Is this a joke? Like, I think that's a question I need to ask. Like, is this a joke right here? Maybe this dude is trolling me. Maybe I'm being trolled. But I think I've seen enough. Verdict. Trash. Absolute trash. The secret death touches. Complete trash. I've seen everything that I need to see with this video. And I think, like I said earlier, I think the saddest part, like the part that really makes me sad, is that there's some people that are actually going to purchase this thing with the hopes of actually trying to learn something, and you're not going to learn anything. And this is also extremely dangerous. Like the reason why I'm able to make fun of it and not give a shit is because like what they're doing is also extremely dangerous. Because one, you're telling people that they can learn life-saving martial arts skills in just a few days. That's completely absurd. No, you can't. You cannot. You can't learn life-saving martial arts skills in a few days. You can't. It takes a long time to develop those skills. So to tell someone that they can just go take an online course in a few days and become a lethal weapon, that is extremely dangerous, because that gives people a sort of confidence that they've not earned. Confidence that's only going to lead them to trouble. And that's not good. That is why a lot of these McDojos, these fake martial artists, these garbage nonsense that doesn't work, it's why they all need to be phased out. They all need to be called out. And people need to understand that they're all bullshit. Because it's just not, it goes beyond just being hilarious. Like, it's actually dangerous, because people are going to go learn this thing. They're going to walk around in the street thinking that they're now a lethal weapon, where, bro, you haven't learned a single thing. Nothing. In fact, what you learned is only going to do worse. You're better off not even knowing what you just saw. So, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed this style of content. If you did, you know what to do to that like button. I have completely wasted my money, which, hold on a sec. Your 60-day satisfaction guarantee. Remember that you are protected by a 60-day money... I can get my money back? If you want to ask for a refund, you only have to follow a few simple steps. Please read the entire procedure before asking for a refund. Yeah, we're definitely going to ask for a refund, brother. We are definitely going to ask for a refund. I'm going to send a message to these folks, and I'm going to get my money back, because this was trash. Peace out, folks.